Hi everybody, welcome to Take 10, the daily art challenge where I take 10 minutes of my day to draw something for myself. Today's been a little bit longer than 10 already. I've spent some time on this one. I threw up a couple of progress shots on Instagram just to have a record out there of what's going on. It's one of my favorite subjects today. It's sort of a rocky mud man kind of thing. As you might guess, the Thing is one of my favorite comic book characters, and I love monsters. Duh. So it's a natural. I've gone over this mostly with brush pen on my tone sketchbook. So now I'm just doing a little touch up on with the colored pencils, trying to get some more definition in certain areas, some more color. I'm noticing the colored pencils are laying on top of the ink rather thickly, so I need to be careful how I blend this in. But as Walter L. and many others have said, any mistake can be recovered from, so don't worry too much. Thinking a lot today about the amount of work I'm doing and the amount of work people I admire and respect do. And I think the reason I'm not getting better as fast as I want to is because of things like having to force myself to do 10 minutes a day on video. A lot of it's not having time, obviously. If you have to squeeze out 10 minutes to work on stuff and that's all you can manage in a day, then you don't have a lot of time to get better. But I also managed to get an entire drawing done on the way to work the day before yesterday, I think it was. And that was one of my daily drawings, the little dragon guy named Little Smokey, that I think you might have seen on Instagram or Facebook. That whole thing was done on my commute, on my phone, with ArtFlow. So maybe it's not as hard as I thought to get something done. I'm certainly going to take that route more and more now that I have a really good phone to draw on and ArtFlow. I mean, I won't always be able to do that, obviously, because you can't, when you're standing up on a bus, you can't really draw. And that does happen about 60% of the time, so we'll see. But starting tomorrow, I'm going to make it my mission to draw as much as I can on those commutes. I mean, I listen to podcasts and music and stuff, and I rest sometimes because it's really early in the morning on the bus. But I'm wasting the time, I feel. So I need to work more on that. Today's artist of inspiration, or the inspirational artist for today, rather, is one of my favorite comic book guys. His name's Steve Mannion. I'm not sure what he's worked on outside of what I've found of his. Which I had it here a second ago. Anyway, he does a comic called Fearless Dawn, which is a really neat kind of, I don't know how to explain it, sort of retro, jazzy kind of, it's a weird style. It's really cool though. It's sort of like Nazi fighting, tough girl with a mask, kind of like the era of the pinup girl, 50s and 60s kind of thing. Even Greaser is into it a lot. But it touches a lot of different genres, and it's obviously a goofy kind of action-adventure kind of thing. But not when I say goofy, I don't mean it's not good or serious artwork. I just mean that it's fun. I love that. I love goofy. I try my best to put that in everything I do. But I really love his style. I love the way he draws girls, and he can paint a T-Rex like nobody's business, in watercolor no less. Really cool. I definitely suggest you check him out. He's had a few successful Kickstarters, which is how I found out about his work. He used to do a comic called Atom Bomb, which was an earlier thing. It featured Fearless Dawn. But it's neat. I love superhero-y stuff, and I love weird kind of kitschy cultural stuff. Like retro, greasery type 50s things. I love rockabilly. I love the subgenre of rockabilly music where they do a lot of horror themed stuff. Some of my favorite kind of music is out of there, so this kind of fits in that. Because one minute she'll be fighting Nazis with machine guns, the next she's fighting these giant mutated monsters, or she's riding a velociraptor, all kinds of crazy stuff happening. It's a great book, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And he's one of my favorites because I really love his style, and it's actually a style that I personally would like to know how to do. I'd like to draw like him. The inspirational artists aren't always about me wanting to copy someone's art style. But in this case it definitely is. I want to draw like him, among other people. But anyway, he's my inspirational artist for today. I'll put him in the link as always. Definitely check him out. Has nothing to do with the Mud Monster at all. But just thinking about him today, I thought I'd throw it in there. I was cleaning up the little room I use as studio here, and I came across this sketchbook from 2012 that I got from him. It's just so cool. It's like concept art for the coolest science fiction B-movie you've never seen before. Really enjoy it. I was thinking about books too. I think the new series of videos, it's not just going to be all about watching me draw or paint or something. I want to do some stuff with reviews. I want to review some zines, local zines, international stuff, Kickstarter projects, books that I've gotten and liked, what I'm reading now, that kind of thing. Just want to sort of share the things that I'm enjoying with the rest of the world. Because there's so much, and it's just having it on the internet is not enough for people to find it. And some of this stuff really deserves to be seen. Putting in these highlights, I'm noticing I'm going to have to go back in and do my darks again. So I'm knocking out a lot of the darks here, but I've got a darker brown color pencil I'll be going back in with in a minute. Trying to get across the idea of his character is very solid, sturdy, but also crumbly, like made of small pieces of things. And it's interesting. I'm going to do like a pale blue color background, and what little background there is to kind of get across, to push him to the foreground a little more too with the color difference. Because as everyone knows, warm colors recede, cool colors fall back. I mean, advance and recede. Sorry, I said that backwards. Something else happened today too. I got a message from a friend on the internet who asked me how I go about compressing my videos for YouTube, which is pretty sweet. I've actually never had much contact with him before, just a few messages here and there on Facebook, but he's a really great artist. His name's, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning this. His name's Eddy Crosby. You guys should check him out too. He's sort of a supplemental inspirational artist for today. Really like his stuff. Also has kind of a retro feel to it. He's got a very 60s kind of vibe going on in his art. He does great girls too. Kind of coincidence. Someone else I'd like to learn how to draw like. Difference being I could probably talk to him. I think he's in Australia. Steve Mannion somewhere in Pennsylvania, I believe, or something like that. Quite a distance. But hey, the internet. I'm thankful for the internet every day. Get a little more definition in here, some texture. I don't want to mess up his face too much. Where's the darker one? That was the darker one. Alright, I may end up having a brush pen back over some of this. But that's cool. No biggie. Some highlights. So you can adjust his whole expression. What little face he's got, you can adjust the whole expression just by changing the brow shape a little bit. Be careful, this bright color pencil knocks out. Hopefully this will also let me separate this hand in the foreground. I had the impression I was kind of losing him, shape of him. He doesn't have his silhouette's not terribly strong. The design's not great. I felt a little hindered. I taped this off so I could fit it into a frame I've got, just as an experiment, because I'd like to start framing more stuff to take to shows and to sell. Hint, hint. But I need to make sure I can work at this size and still get something decent in the dimensions. So I felt a little cramped. I should have redrawn him. I first noticed that in the sketch, but I just went ahead with it. I'm not necessarily planning on this one being the first one I put in the frame and sell. I just wanted to see how it comes out. And you know, chances to test new materials are always good. I'm wondering what the brush pen's going to do over top of this. That would be cool. I noticed lately I'm getting a little sick of what I usually do, which is kind of sad. Because I truly do love monsters. Maybe it's just because I feel like I'm in a rut. I do like 4 different kinds of monsters. I do a Nosferatu, either in full humanoid or partial bat form. I do rock monsters, or similar things. And I do furry things, like a Yeti type monsters, which are basically just rock monsters with hair instead of textures of rock. And I do aquatic creatures. And that's kind of all I do. I should probably just start drawing some things that aren't necessarily monsters. See what I can do about that. Oh, that ding was actually Eddy replying to my Facebook message. It's funny living in this connected world. And I usually don't do a lot of social media, or I haven't lately, but I think 2015, if things keep up the way they've been this first week of 2015, I'm going to see a lot more social media out of me. It's a bit of a rush to be able to share something and get some response. I get the impression this is kind of how it's supposed to work, you know? You're not supposed to post a picture on Facebook every 2 weeks or something, and then, 5 people see it and they say they like it, and that's about it. If you want people to see your stuff so that you can sell it, or so you get a name for yourself, then everybody has to see it a lot. I mean, I don't want to be anybody's face. If anybody doesn't like it, they can always just unsubscribe or not look at it or whatever, but I'd like to be able to get out there. I think everybody would. It's kind of the game, right? The trick is to do it in a way that's not pushy, because I really hate that. I'd rather not make art than piss off people by being in their face all the time demanding to look at my art. I'm serious about that. It's really annoying. And people will always remember that. A bad experience like that does not go away. Anyway. My partial goals for 2015. Do more stuff, get in front of more people. Pretty simple. Let's see how I go with that. Alright, so this is technically the penultimate video for the series, number 29 of 30, excuse me. If you guys have liked this, then subscribe. I'll be doing a lot more videos in 2015, not daily like this, but pretty frequently. I'm going to shoot for 2 a week and see what else I can do with that. 2 a week art videos. I mentioned the other videos I'm going to try to do today too. Those will be extra. So they'll just be occasional when I come across something neat in my bookshelf or something in a bookstore that I think is awesome to share with people. Be some of that then. And for today, I will simply say, take care and keep making stuff. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for the last video.